The Los Angeles Chargers are next. Their schedule looks like this, including 5 primetime games. The one big one, the Thursday night matchup against the Chiefs, then Denver, San Francisco on Sunday Night Football, the Colts on Monday night, and the Los Angeles Chargers on what could be a Saturday night game. I don't know.
Rams?
I don't know. Or the Rams. It could be on Saturday night. I don't know. Aaron, what is your storyline here for the Los Angeles Chargers heading into 2022?
Are we looking at the same old Chargers? I mean, really, that's what it boils down to. Are we looking at the same old Chargers that everybody has high hopes for, that everybody looks at their roster and says that's one of the most talented teams in the NFL, and then similar to the Arizona Cardinals, they let us down? Look, I'm a huge fan of Justin Herbert. I'm a huge fan of Keenan Allen. We all know this. Mike Williams on the outside. They added Khalil Mack. They go get, J.C. Jackson. Derwin James is one of my favorite safeties in the league. Talent all over the field. Joey Bosa. This is the same old story. And I hate to compare it to my Dallas Cowboys, but it's very similar. We talk year after year about how talented the Chargers are, and year after year they find ways to lose. And, people are going to say this year's different because of everything they did. But last year was supposed to be different after Justin Herbert's rookie year. And guess what? They were fighting for a playoff spot and fell short. Is this the same, or are we looking at something completely different now?
I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I'm going to try. I'm assuming you can.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, but you don't
frozen.
match up.
I'll go to Dylan next while you figure that out. Hey, Dylan, what is your storyline for the Los Angeles Chargers?
Yeah, once again, if I was writing for the LA Times, my headline would be, can the Chargers win with the Staley way? And AJ alluded to it earlier when he talked about the way that Brandon Staley is aggressive and goes for it on 4th downs and all the good stuff that goes into whatever he does when it comes to his coaching style. He's just an aggressive head coach, a riverboat Ron type when it comes to just grinding out games and just not sending the punter onto the field. If you're close, you're going to go for it. And I think that's the one thing. Can the Chargers win in that way? It's a tough division. We mentioned it's a tough schedule for them. And I mean, can they win with that factor? The way that Brandon Staley coaches this team is definitely questionable in the football community. And they just got to find a way to start winning those games. And I mean, you look at the schedule, it's tough and just something Staley's got to find a way to do.
Yeah, it is a very tough schedule. And I mean, like, that is, I feel like the layup storyline in this AFC West is like, are the Chargers for real? Can they actually put up or shut up with this? And I mean, the AFC West is extremely tough, so it's going to be hard for them to do. I think it's funny though that we have Bailey in the chat saying, who upsets the Chargers, if anyone? Are they a team at this point where like it wouldn't be a surprise if like someone upsets them? Like I feel like if let's see.
Wait. I think it's funny. Bring up that schedule. How many of those games, if the other team that they're playing won, is an upset? Because I see 2. Or I'm sorry, 3. Jacksonville, Houston, and Seattle. Or in Atlanta, I guess. So 4. So 4, and those are all at the beginning of the season.
What about
first
Miami?
9 weeks? No. Why would that be an upset?
On the road, all the way, traveling all that way, Miami.
I mean, if you want to take it as like favorite, like Vegas style upsets, fair. But Miami Dolphins, which we're going to talk about later this offseason, people are talking very highly of them. They just got Tyreek Hill. They've done a lot. Look, what it really boils down to is, you mentioned it, the schedule's so tough that I will tell you, 8 weeks in, everybody's going to love the Chargers. They're going to be 7-1. I think that's what I have them. 7-1 if going into their bye. Yep. They'll be 7-1 coming out. They'll have a bye. They'll come out 7-1, and everybody, they'll be flying high. And guess what's going to happen after that? They're going to win 3 games the rest of the year, because that second half of that schedule is absolutely brutal. That schedule is brutal. When you talk about going at San Francisco, then you got Kansas City, Arizona, the Raiders, Miami, Tennessee, Indy, Rams, and Broncos. Those are all arguably playoff teams that are not going to be lay down games. And we've seen, and like I said, we've seen this before from the Chargers. Hot start, games that get tight, coaches have to make decisions. Wow. He is not going to stop going for it in situations. And against those good football teams, he might be able to squeak some of those out. I mean, you can't have any slip-ups the first half of that year because the schedule down the stretch is so tough.
It's funny you say that.
Every situation, though, that he has to – it's not every situation that he doesn't have to go for it. Like, that's the difference.
No, I don't care if he does it or not.
I know. I know where you stand. I'm just going off of what you said. For instance, if you're taking that shot on 4th down and you're on your 45, I'm okay with that. It's when it's 4th and 17, 4th and 29, and you're on your 20. Those are the dumb plays that you have to get over.
He's never done that.
Yes, he has.
No, he has not.
Full draft.
He did it twice late in the season.
He's never gone for it on 4th and 17 on his own 20.
It was 4th and something dumb on like his 12.
Stop. Just
go
stop.
On his 12.
They went ape shit over this on the pundits.
It was not 4th and 17 or 4th and 20. That's a big difference between going forward for on 4th and 3 or 4th and 6. 4th and 17 is damn near an impossible thing to convert.
It was like 4th and 12, bro. I will find it. I will find it and get it to you. Anyways,
I think
that's go ahead, Vinny.
No, I'm wrapping it up. So if you have words to say, continue.
We're not letting you wrap it up. We're still talking about the Chargers.
It's I disagree with you basically on where the Chargers are. I mean, I don't believe
based on what
team anymore. I don't look at the team anymore. I'm kidding there.
Based on what? Based on what, bro? Come on. Bro.
You're saying a lot of words, but you're not giving any substance. Based on what?
You don't let me damn talk.
Actually, hold on. Pause. Time out.
Oh,
go.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay,
based on what? Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I don't think it's right for us to look at this team and think that they are going to continue to stay stagnant. This is a team, when they let Phillip Rivers go and they started anew, they have a young core that is getting better by the year. They have learned from their tribulations, I would assume, at this point in time. That's a heartbreaking way to go out last year when you have the entire world focused on you and all you have to do is tie. And I respect you not going for a tie because that's bullshit. And going for it and you lost. And now you go in the offseason, you're hurt hard. You take the right motions, you get better on defense. This is a team, the Chargers, that for me, I've been looking at them waiting for their defense to get better. Since back when they were going in with Casey Hayward and Jason Verrett when they were quick in their prime and they just could not stay healthy. That has been the biggest downfall for them is their health on defense. And they've had to come back each year. I think they fixed that with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack and getting J.C. Jackson. I think they fixed their offensive line. That's going to allow that run game with an Austin Eckler to get better and allow Justin Herbert to do what he's been able to do in this passing game. I don't think he's going to be the MVP like, Sherm is going to tell us he's going to be.
He's great.
I think he's going to be in the conversation again. I think he's going to be throwing another 45 to 48 100-yard season, another 30-plus touchdown season. I think they have the requisite pieces to be good. And all they have to do is show that they have grown up, which I believe they have.
You're saying
what else do we have to go on right now?
We have the past 2 years with basically this same roster.
That season is over.
The Derwin James, the Joey Bosa's, they were healthy last year. Guess what? They had the worst defense in the NFL. Like Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley was a defensive-minded coach, and he has the worst defense in the NFL. But yeah, we're going to give him a pass because they're dynamic, because Justin Herbert's so electrifying. They bring in these pieces that we assume it's going to work. I'm not assuming nothing. I'm looking back to last year where they were bad and they finished 9-8, third in their own division behind a Raiders team who went through hell and only got better. A Denver team they barely got by who got better, and they were 7-9 and 9-8 with Justin Herbert. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sit here and say this team is going to take the next step and overtake a Kansas City or overtake a Las Vegas when they haven't proven it. We talk. I sat here all last year and I said the same thing about the Cleveland Browns having to prove it. I said the same thing about the Cincinnati Bengals having to prove it. Cincinnati did. So this year I can say, okay, you know what? You proved you can compete in a division like this and win. The Chargers haven't proved anything over the past 10 years except for knowing how to find ways to lose. Why should it be any different?
Finish in their division? Where do the Chargers finish?
So, I mean, bring in Vinny. Vinny and Dylan can come back in. I have them all finishing 10-7. And I'm not saying they're bad. I think they're a good football team. But to say that they are going to take this massive leap and be this favorite to win 12 games, and I'm not saying you did or anybody else did. I saw some comments in the chat about what they're going to win, 12, 13 wins. How do we just make that leap based on what we've seen? And Justin Herbert played phenomenal last year, to Dylan's words.
12 wins is very much in the realm of a possibility for this team.
Based on what that we've seen?
I gave it to you. You shut it all down.
That
Every
we've seen.
single year in the NFL is different. You were talking about 2 or 3 new teams per conference every single year in the playoffs. I can tell you right now, without a doubt in my mind, that the Chargers are going to be one of them.
Sure, I have them 10-7. They can make the playoffs, but that's not the stretch we're talking about. We're talking about the significant leap to overtake the Chiefs, to make 12, 13 wins. Because if you're talking 11, 12, 13 wins, now you're talking one of the better teams in the conference, and they weren't even in the playoffs last year. That leap is a lot bigger. That's a Cincinnati leap versus just to make the playoffs leap.
So let me step in here and kind of, you brought up before this whole fiasco with AJ, that outside of the bye, it gets very tough for them. I actually have them going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have them going 7-3 out of the bye.
Wow.
So you have them going 7-3 out of the bye. And they also play Jacksonville, Seattle, Houston, and Atlanta. So that means you have at least 11 wins there. And are they not winning another game? Are they not winning against Cleveland?
I have them 12-5 is what I have them at.
So okay, which is
I thought I put them 12-5 too. I apparently put them 11-6.
I have them at 12-5. I have them beating Atlanta. That's not a hot take. I have them beating San Francisco, which you and I discussed this during our power ranking show. Not that sold on San Francisco. So and you talk about what have they proven or anything like that. If Trey Lance is their guy, they haven't proven shit either. So that's that. I have them splitting with Kansas City, so that's their win right there. I have them beating Arizona. I have them beating Vegas in Vegas. I have them losing week 1 against Vegas, so there's a split. I have them beating Miami, that them traveling across the country to Los Angeles. I don't like that for them. Tennessee, we all know, we all have said this, and even our chat, which I'm very happy about people agreeing with us about Tennessee. I don't think that Tennessee stands a chance. So they lose there. And then I do have them losing to Los Angeles, losing to Indianapolis, and losing to Denver to round out the season. So 3 straight losses going into the postseason.
That's not great. That's typical Chargers.
That's what I said. That's why I have that there. But I do have them finishing strong, coming out of the bye much stronger than what you at least said.
Well, yeah, but that's also based on you not giving them credit early in the season. Because if you have them winning 7 games after the bye, that means you have them only winning 5 before the bye, or you have them winning 5 and 2 before the bye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, you had 12,
5 wins before the bye. They beat Jacksonville. They beat.
So Houston. They lose their first 2 games of the year, then they go on a fat winning streak. Is what you're saying?
Yes, correct.
8, 9, 10 games in a row.
I think that they lose to Vegas, and I think they lose to Kansas City. They beat Jacksonville, Houston, a Deshaun Watson-less Cleveland. I do have them splitting with Denver, so that's their win against Denver at home, and then
that's why
Seattle
I have them 7-1.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at that schedule, the only game I have them really losing is Kansas City. The rest of those games they can win, and I truly believe that. Could be 7-1, and I'm not, and that's because they are a good. I do think they have a good enough talent.
We just have it flip flopped.
Yeah, but you have them 12 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I have them going 5-5 after the bye. Like, I do think that their schedule starts off very easy and allows them to get right. I don't think so. I won't. We got hot about it already. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, like, I think it's doable. I'm not shocked if I have them beating Indianapolis. I firmly believe Indianapolis can win a game that late in the season with a Matt Ryan-led quarterback in a defensive front and a defensive linebacker like Darius Leonard. I absolutely believe that. But there's also these places where you look at the schedule and you think about the team you're at, and if this is good enough for a coin flip, which side are you leaning? And for me, where I think the Chargers are getting themselves to this year, I lean on the side of a W for them against an Indianapolis team before I have them lose against the Rams and then Denver, because I do think the last 2 games of the season, the Chargers are going to find a way to drop and have to get back right.
I don't want to make it seem like I don't think they can win 12 games or they can win 13 games. I'm saying, how do we predict that based on what we've seen? Like, do we understand how good the football teams are when they win 12 and 13 games? Those teams are, I mean, think about how good those teams are in the league when it happens. And we're going to predict
a little bit ago. But nobody saw this coming from Cincinnati.
But Cincinnati didn't win 12 games. They won 10. That's my point. And then they went on a run. Could you tell me the Chargers win 10 games and go on a run in the playoffs? We're not having this conversation. But to win 12 NFL games in a regular season, those teams are the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers. Like, those are the elite teams in the NFL that do that. I don't know how we look at the Chargers and what they've been and what they've done and say that's that team, especially in the hardest division in football when we haven't seen it before. That's all. Not saying it's impossible. I just don't know how we predict that.